In 2053, humanity achieved a milestone by constructing the Ceres Space Station in orbit around Mars. A symbol of ambition and ingenuity, the station's purpose was to analyze the planet and pinpoint the ideal location for humanity's first permanent settlement. For 6 months, the station's 12-person crew sent promising updates, data on subterranean water, atmospheric anomalies, and seismic activity. Then, without warning, silence. No responses to Earth transmissions. No signals. Just an unsettling void. 3 months later, the rescue mission launched aboard the Aquila during the first available transfer window. Its 5-person crew was handpicked for their expertise and resilience. Commander Elena Vasquez, a pragmatic leader with a calm demeanor, spearheaded the mission. Beside her was Dr. Samuel Park, the stoic architect of Ceres life support systems. The others, astrophysicist Haruto Takahashi, engineer Liao Moreau, and medic Jules Carter, were a mix of veterans and fresh talent, all braced for the unknown. As the Aquila neared Ceres Station, its external cameras revealed a chilling sight. The station drifted at an odd angle, its rotation uneven. One solar array had been sheared off, and faint scorch marks marred the hull. Station appears intact but destabilized, Vasquez noted, her voice taut. Prepare for docking. Inside, the team steeled themselves for whatever they might find. The airlock groaned open, revealing a station plunged into darkness. A faint hum of failing systems filled the silence, interrupted only by their boots tapping against metal floors. Flashlights illuminated scrawled markings on the walls. Chaotic symbols and phrases scratched deep into the metal, but none of it immediately coherent. The team moved cautiously, their unease deepening as they passed abandoned quarters and a shattered greenhouse. Supplies were untouched, yet it was clear the crew had stopped eating weeks ago. In the mess hall, they found him. Dr. Marcus Keene, a biologist and one of the 12, sat slumped at a table, his eyes sunken and his hands clutching a weathered notebook. He was skeletal, his skin stretched tight over his bones. He didn't react to their presence. "Dr. Keene?" Vasquez asked gently, his head tilted slightly, his lips barely moving. "You shouldn't have come." "Where's the rest of the crew?" Park asked. Keene's hollow eyes shifted to him. "They're gone," he murmured, almost wistfully. "It's safer that way. Safer for everyone." "What happened?" Vasquez pressed. Keene didn't respond immediately. His gaze drifted to the shadows behind them. Finally, he said, "The station is wrong. It's been wrong since we arrived. Do you feel it yet?" "Feel what?" Keene smiled faintly, the expression utterly devoid of warmth. "You will." Keene grew more agitated as they prepared to leave, muttering about patterns in the noise and the station watching them. Meanwhile, strange occurrences began to unsettle the rescuers. Vasquez heard faint whispers over her comms, though the others claimed not to hear them. Haruto swore he saw a figure in the observation deck window, staring back at him from the void. "Just nerves," Jules tried to reassure him. "This place is a graveyard, that's all." But Liao wasn't convinced. "Graveyards don't make things move on their own," she muttered, pointing to a wrench that had slid across the floor despite the station's artificial gravity. As they escorted Keene back to the Aquila, his behavior became erratic. He stared intently at corners and vents, muttering about them. The more they pushed for answers, the more his paranoia spread to the team. The final incident. On board the Aquila, Keene's mutterings escalated into shouting matches with unseen figures. He grew combative, slamming himself against bulkheads and accusing the crew of bringing it back. Despite their best efforts to restrain him, he managed to slip out of the medical bay. They found him in the cargo hold, standing motionless near the airlock. "They never left," he said, his voice calm, almost serene. "And now neither will you." Vasquez ordered him to stand down, raising her sidearm. But before anyone could act, the ship's lights flickered violently, plunging the hold into momentary darkness. When they came back on, Keene had vanished. Then came the sound of heavy banging on the walls, first from the cargo hold, then the corridors, then everywhere at once. The noises were rhythmic, deliberate, but impossible to trace. "Get us out of here," Vasquez shouted. The banging stopped. Keene reappeared at the far end of the corridor, his face twisted in fury. Without warning, he lunged at Vasquez with inhuman strength, clawing at her. The others struggled to pull him off, but he fought with wild, desperate ferocity. Gunshots rang out as Vasquez fired her emergency pistol. The rounds echoed through the ship, followed by shouts and panicked cries. Park's voice broke over the comms, desperate and strained. Ground base, this is Aquila. We need immediate. The line cut to static. Earth waited for the Aquila to respond. Days passed. Telescopes picked up the spacecraft drifting further from Mars, its trajectory unsteady. The station itself remained in orbit, silent and cold. No further transmissions were ever received. And in the vast, unyielding darkness of space, Ceres Station continues to circle Mars, its secrets locked within.